Hi everyone, welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Pretty good. I hear this is a no rules podcast.
It is indeed.
I hear this from you.
Yep, you can do whatever you want.
Word on the street and from you.
Except you got to keep your face close to the mic and also no slurping into the mic.
See, it seems like rules again. I'm disappointed that there are still rules.
I mean, you can be as unprofessional as you want. Actually, if you want to slurp, keep your head far away from the mic and then that solves the problem.
Again, with the rules, I could slurp whatever. I don't want to slurp. I choose not to slurp.
Well, that's the right choice.
Also, we don't have a drink because it's no rules.
I'm sorry. I am looking at your delivered Potbelly Oreo shake sitting right there.
That's pretty good.
And I got to say, near slurp level.
That was very nice of you to get to order me a milkshake.
I did.
Yeah, it was nice.
Because I love you. I didn't order myself a milkshake.
No, I mean, it was very selfless of you to order me a milkshake.
Because I love you. I appreciate that you let me have a sip, but I didn't drink that
I
milkshake.
let you have a sip.
I
I'm
got that for
Prince
you.
because I let you have a sip. There may have been some things in that order for you.
Yes, I'm just saying I didn't order myself a milkshake, even though milkshakes are delish. I got one for you.
Ah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's nice. Because I asked you. Order me one.
No, you did not.
No, you did volunteer it.
I said, would you like me to order you an Oreo milkshake? And you said, yes, please.
I may have said, that sounds like a good idea
My
that you
goodness.
just had.
Taken away my glory, my heroicism.
Your niceness
Stealing
remains
my valor.
unimpeached. Stealing your valor.
Yeah. You can just
Nice.
put that on the table, dear Dad.
Ugh.
I know we've
like
talked about this
coasters.
before.
I like coasters.
If you could go get a coaster, but he doesn't get a coaster. He will balance his drink on the cord for the headphones.
Yeah, that
Instead
way
of putting
doesn't
it on
make
the table?
Table wet.
Take one of those masks right there.
Well,
Now becomes your coaster. It will both absorb the wetness from the glass table, which will be fine, and absorb the sound. How's that? And then you don't have
makes me
to
very happy.
balance it on cords.
Oh, that was very nice. Now I'm much more comfortable.
We're living through like the broadcast education of Ingo. It has taken a couple years, and now,
Wait, where to put my drink has nothing to do with broadcast education.
oh my God, if you were to balance an open drink in like a professional studio,
Oh, well.
the engineers would break into the room and interrupt the broadcast to take it away. Absolutely.
They wouldn't let me within miles of a professional broadcast booth. And they'd be not wrong.
And dear Dad,
What?
which one of us is making that ding sound? I'm looking at the text message on your watch right now.
Yeah.
Could you mute your watch?
No. I don't know how. I'll take it off.
No, wait, it'll still ding. Come, I'll show. No, hang on, I'll pause. Okay,
Where were we?
we hadn't started yet. It's a tough night for Ingo, I think.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it quick then. It's a no rules. We can do it real fast.
Ah,
Hops had an infection and now
can't
she's a
handle
little
the
bit
no
better.
rules.
Voods is having surgery. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
I think that will leave people wanting more.
Okay.
Leaves me wanting more.
So on Monday, Hopper's leg was really swollen, which I guess we must have talked about on the podcast.
Yeah, we thought it was from the RV trip.
And so I took her up to the vet, the emergency vet, and we spent all day Monday up there. So we must have gone through that on the podcast. And then brought her home, and they had her on some antibiotics. And then at like 1 a.m. on Monday night / very early Tuesday morning, we were getting ready for bed, and Hops kind of sat up real fast from where she was laying down and then started licking herself because her leg had exploded.
Ugh.
We don't need to get into the details.
Whatever was making it swell escaped.
She had an abscess, it turns out, and the abscess decided to exit, and it did in volume and
Dramatically.
spread. It was very dramatic. I can deal with a lot of gore, and it was sort of turning my stomach, the whole business. So I brought her back up to the emergency vet, sat in the parking lot until like 4 a.m. And they decided to admit her So again, they were really worried that it was cancer. That's what they were worried about at the beginning of the day. Like, all of her symptoms are consistent with especially bone cancer, which is very serious and aggressive. In the morning, they hadn't seen anything on x-ray. And then, when she came back with this sort of infection in the evening, and it had gotten so much worse and so dramatically, they were still really worried that it was some other kind of cancer, if not bone cancer. So she was there Tuesday, got a whole bunch of tests, CT scan, all kinds of things.
Yep. Fluid drain analysis, right? I mean, it was a lot of testing and prodding and poking.
Well, that wasn't on Tuesday, but she did get IV antibiotics and pain medicine. And then the plan was to go in and do surgery on Tuesday to kind of clean it out and then also figure out what was in there. They didn't manage to get to that on Tuesday, so they kept her overnight. They did that Wednesday. Basically ended up not having to fully put her under. They kind of gave her a light sedation and cleaned it all out. Everything basically looked fine. So they think that the surgeon said it basically looks like something punctured her skin and it got infected. So it could be a bite or a sting. Could be that gecko that attacked Voods.
That is one sneaky creature.
Chomped Hops on the elbow. I mean, we have no idea what it was. We didn't notice anything happening to her. She wasn't bleeding from it. Who knows what it was, but something poked through there and infected her.
Got badly infected.
Really, really bad. Yeah. So she's on a couple antibiotics now. Her leg is all wrapped up. So that's not actually a cast that you see on the snaps. It's a bandage with vet wrap on the outside. We brought her up today and they changed it. They say it looks a lot better already. She's going up for another bandage change tomorrow. Because I guess it definitely was still draining stuff out of there. So they didn't even suture it closed. Their hope was just that it would drain out. They cleaned it really well, but, make sure all the fluids drain. So yeah, seems like she's going to be fine.
Everyone in the practice loved her.
Oh my God, they're all nuts for her.
Every tech that you dealt with and I dealt with, we were like, oh, Hopper's such a great dog. She's so nice. She just wants to be petted.
I'd call to check on her and I'd be like, hey, this is Jen Goldbeck calling to check on Hops. And they're like, oh, my girlfriend Hops. Yeah, they all think that she's fantastic. Because she is.
And she's been real stoic, right? She walks on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel sorry for herself.
Nope.
She seems real good about it.
Yep, she's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the Hopper update. Who knows? We'll probably have this bandage on through next week. That we're going on vacation next week, so we're going to have friend of the squad dog sitter at the house, who I suspect will send us some content, which we'll post, but we'll also have some backup content. We're only going to be gone. We will not be in the house on like 2 days next week, but we'll be here the rest of the time. So yeah. So that's that. And then I had also, the other dog update is that I had made an appointment, which we talked about, for Voodoo to see the orthopedic people here in Maryland at VOSM, which is a really world-class place. So his appointment was Thursday? Was it yesterday? No, it was Wednesday. No, it was Thursday.
It was
All
yesterday.
the days are running together.
Yeah.
It was Thursday. At some point I'm like taking calls from Hopper's surgeon and then missed a call from the people at VOSM because you can't go into either of these places yet. They're still not allowing.
It just seems like you've been driving to or from various vet clinics all week.
And also not sleeping.
And also waiting outside them.
Yeah. So anyway, I took him up to VOSM. They brought him in. They did some x-rays. They did some tests. He was evaluated by like a general orthopedic person and then a surgeon. So the good news is that I was worried that he had some neurologic problems because he doesn't control his back legs very well. And I was worried that that might be coming from the seizure medicine or that there was something else affecting his back legs. It's not either of those things. So nothing that they're seeing there is related to the seizure medicine, which is great because it's working as it is and I didn't want to adjust it. And then they also kind of properly tested his reflexes and all the little neurological tests they do. They'll flip their paws upside down and see if they can get them right, but you got to support them in the right way. They did all of that. Everything looks normal. So that's great. It's basically his knees are bad. He does also have some pain in like his lower back when they push on it, but they don't think that's the main issue for him because there's definitely his knees are very swollen. In fact, they've gotten worse than they were when we first had him checked out in Maryland. Even though he's lost a lot of weight and he's gained a lot of strength, his knees are more swollen. There's some movement in the joint. So they do a test where you can imagine holding like the thigh and the calf, right? The upper and the lower leg, and then trying to move them forwards and backwards against each other. They should not move like that. They should stay connected. But if they slide, they call that the drawer effect. So it's sort of like you're sliding a drawer out. And if that happens, it's a typical sign of a cruciate ligament tear. And he does have some of that movement on the left leg, which is his worst one. So they think there's a partial tear in there. So they're like, it also could be something else. So the plan is to go in and do basically arthroscopic, to scope the knee, just like they would on a person. If there is a partial tear, then they will do a TPLO, which is a repair for if you tear your ACL or your CCL. If you're and your dog, that's what they do to fix it. And if it's not that, if there isn't a partial tear, and that means it's something else, and they'll do some sampling of like joint fluid and all sorts of other stuff and kind of check out what's there while they have the cameras in there. But they seem to be leaning pretty strongly towards it being a partial tear of his CCL. So he's having surgery for that a week from Tuesday. So like the week before the 4th of July, he'll go in on Tuesday, have the surgery, stay overnight. We'll pick him up Wednesday and then see. It may extend our time in Maryland a little bit depending on when they need him for rechecks. But yeah, so we're going to have Hops and Voods both with one shaved leg. And I was proposing to GR Dad that maybe we shave one leg of every dog in solidarity.
Sure.
We could rotate it. Like Hops has her front left and Voods will have his back left. So we could do like front right on Vink, back right on Guac, and then maybe like tail of CB.
I'll shave like right leg below the knee too. It's fine.
Though CB's Tinkler is shaved. So does that count as a limb?
No.
Oh.
That's not boots with the fur.
I mean, if you flip them over, maybe.
Boots with the fur.
Anyway.
Gotta do a leg. What were you doing while Voods was being checked out at VSM and you couldn't go in with him because it's COVID protocol?
I mean, the only thing I do is walk around the parking lots. That's what I did. I walked like 7 miles while Hops was in the emergency vet the first time.
I saw the Strava.
I did it. When I was walking around with Hops, I was like, God damn, I should have turned on the Strava app to like make a GPS map. But I did when I was walking around for Voods.
It looked a little bit like when you ran every road in the Keys.
It is. I mean, it was actually weirder with Voods because the VOSM is in the back of like the super industrial area. Like there's manufacturing, there's places for semis to pull up, and there's no sidewalks. And it's this, it's way in the back of like this industrial complex, but it's on like a big busy road with no sidewalks. So all I can do is walk like, there's like 8 industrial buildings with parking, going back away from the street with parking lots. So I just walk the circumference of all the parking lots, and then
a nice wooded trail.
I'd like walk up a little hill to the next industrial park, and then walk all of their stuff. Yeah.
Sounds grim.
I found 22 cents, a key, and a toothbrush on that walk, though. I did not take the toothbrush, but I have the rest of it.
Yeah, it didn't look new enough to take. I'm glad you didn't bring it. Mine is newer.
It was not my brand. Anyway, so that's that. Everybody else is doing fine.
Yeah, everyone loves it here.
Voods especially loves being able to just walk outside on his own.
Oh, he chooses the third option and stays sort of in and out and flops so the door doesn't close, and but he goes outside and you've seen he eats dirt. He just sniffs around. He's happy as a clam.
Yep, he thinks this place is great. So, because he always wants to wander in and out as he sees fit in Florida. And we keep the doors closed in Florida because, one, it's way more humid there than it is here. Also,
Right.
big scary bugs there compared to here.
Also, he tries to go up and down the stairs, which is not a good strategy.
Yeah.
He might get away with it, but he also could fall down the stairs.
He could, though, hopefully after the surgery, that won't be as much of a problem because they'll fix it.
Yeah,
but it's so hot and humid in Florida. And look, I mean, it gets hot and humid in D.C., but it is an order of magnitude more intense in Florida. We can't, if you keep a door open, like sometimes we'll leave the door open to the porch because it's screened in, and then you walk past there and it's like a hair dryer blowing in. You've got to keep it closed, even in the winter most of the time, but especially in the summer.
Yeah, I still feel like I need chapstick down up here in DC.
It is, yeah, it's a lot.
Even though it's the humid summer, and I used to think the humidity in DC was terrible, it's not.
No. So yeah, Vink is doing good. No problem. Nobody's having any problems. Brody's happy. Guac is happy as always, guacking around.
Yeah, he's still got an elephant left. He's gone through 2 Blauhighs, but we still have one somewhere.
Yeah, and I'll stock up on some more. There's an IKEA 15 minutes away. But yeah, other than that, everything's good. We're enjoying life where you can order things like Potbelly and have it delivered in an hour.
Try
Ordering
pizza.
groceries.
You can order pizza
We
here.
ordered pizza. Ordering a lot of food. Delish.
When it's a luxury to order a pizza, you live in an isolated place normally.
I am enjoying like being able to go out for lunch, being able to order dinner,
True.
just get stuff.
Take more than one right turn before you hit the water.
I mean, I miss my palm trees and I miss the ocean a lot, but it's good to have a.
Oh my God, there are
jump
more
up here.
traffic lights within sight of this house than there are in the Keys.
That is probably true. I mean, if you gave me 3 or 4 minutes, I could count the number of traffic lights in the Keys because they're all on Route 1. There's no side ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, there are probably more visible here than there are in the entirety.
It's different here.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good mix, though.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the dog update. So Hops is going to be fine. We have not seen her wound since she went into the hospital because it's all bandaged up, but they say it's doing great. So she's going to be good. Thank you, everybody, for sending her good wishes.
It worked.
Yeah. And then Vood's, there's nothing for him to do until he goes into surgery, and that's, a week and a half from now. So
Fink was very empathetic with Hops when Hops came back.
no. She's empathetic with everybody.
Sniffed her, hung out with her, laid
Yeah.
so she was touching her, signed her cast.
Indeed. All right. So I guess that's it for dog updates and No Rules podcast, unless there's some other no rulesy thing you want to add in.
Now I got suddenly drawing a blank.
Okay. Well, then until next week, which will maybe drop early or will maybe drop from Vegas, don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.